Imagine receiving a mysterious phone that turns into your personal key to unlimited wealth, predicting everything, even casino jackpots. Sounds like a dream, right? But for Max, that gift hides a dangerous secret. Unknowingly, he's been handed a phone powered by the world's smartest AI, and soon it's not just predicting fortunes, it's threatening his life and the future of his country. Can this AI be stopped before it destroys the democracy of the United States? Join us to find out. In Washington, D.C., a woman receives a cryptic text message instructing her to go to a local subway station and look for answers at crossing 1114. She follows the instructions but tragically finds nothing but her own death as an oncoming train kills her. This eerie and fatal event sets the stage for a much larger conspiracy spanning multiple countries. Meanwhile, in Thailand, an American computer engineer named Max is wrapping up his last job in the region. He is preparing to return home, but upon arriving at his hotel, he discovers an unexpected package awaiting him. The package contains an ultra-modern smartphone, but there are no indications of who sent it or what it is for. Curious but confused, Max decides to leave the mystery for later and turns on the TV. The news is buzzing with debate over a controversial security funding bill that could grant the National Security Agency (NSA) the ability to enhance its surveillance capabilities worldwide. Suddenly, a message from an unknown sender arrives on the new phone, informing Max of a half-price rate at the hotel for the weekend. Skeptical but intrigued, Max checks with the reception desk, where they confirm the promotion is real. He decides to extend his stay for 2 more days. In the meantime, across the globe in Russia, a bald man also receives a cryptic message on his phone, notifying him that another phone, likely Max's, has been detected. As Max enjoys a relaxing weekend in Thailand, he continues keeping up with the news and learns that the security bill was narrowly rejected due to 1 vote. NSA Director Burke, who advocated for the bill, refuses to comment publicly on the defeat. Then, to Max's shock, the news reports that the flight he had initially planned to take home crashed shortly after takeoff, leaving no survivors. Max realizes that the mysterious message about the hotel promotion indirectly saved his life. Still puzzled by the phone's origin, Max receives another strange text, this time suggesting he buy shares in a company called Sizer. He dismisses the tip, but later regrets it when he sees that Sizer's stock prices have skyrocketed, meaning he missed out on a major financial opportunity. The next day, Max receives yet another text directing him to travel to Prague, Czech Republic. With little idea of what's going on but sensing there's something important at play, Max decides to obey the instructions. At the airport, he meets a Russian cab driver named Yuri, who offers him a ride into the city at a flat rate. Yuri seems intrigued by Max's phone, noting that the model hasn't been released to the public yet. He gives Max his business card, explaining that he also works on gadgets in his spare time. At his hotel in Prague, Max attempts to call the courier company that delivered the phone in hopes of learning more about the sender. However, he is told that they cannot provide such information due to privacy concerns. Just then, another text message comes through, directing Max to visit a local casino and play slot machine 13. The message assures Max that the machine will hit the jackpot after 4 more spins. Desperate not to miss out on another opportunity like the one with Sizer, Max bribes the current player with €100 to let him take over. Sure enough, the machine hits the jackpot as promised. Max's suspicious string of luck catches the attention of John, the casino's head of security, who orders his team to keep an eye on Max. Following yet another text message, Max goes to a blackjack table and bets all his winnings, walking away with yet another massive win. However, John has noticed Max constantly glancing at his phone during the games and sends a guard to tell him that phones are not allowed in the casino. To continue without attracting suspicion, Max contacts Yuri and asks for help accessing the texts without having to carry the phone with him. Yuri agrees to assist, but warns that it will take a few hours to set up a workaround. In the meantime, Max returns to his hotel, where he intervenes in an argument between a couple in the hallway. Camilla, the woman involved, seems to want to escape from an aggressive man, and Max's attempt to defend her results in him being knocked unconscious. While he's out cold, Camilla reveals that the whole scene was staged so she could clone Max's SIM card. Once she's done, she wakes him up, thanking him for his help, and the two of them part ways. Max eventually reconnects with Yuri, who installs a Bluetooth text-to-speech transmitter on the phone, allowing Max to receive the texts via an earpiece. Impressed by the technological sophistication of the messages, Yuri hints that finding the sender would require advanced hacking, something he can only do once he returns to Moscow. With the new setup in place, Max heads back to the casino, where he continues to win based on the instructions delivered through his earpiece. John and his security team are watching Max closely and attempt to apprehend him. As Max tries to flee, he is intercepted by FBI Special Agent Dave, who arrests him on the spot. John protests, claiming Max is their guy, but Dave overrules him and takes Max to an abandoned warehouse for questioning. During the interrogation, Dave reveals that the FBI has been investigating a series of mysterious financial tips sent via text message. The recipients of these tips, all American citizens, have died under strange circumstances shortly after receiving the messages. Among the previous recipients was the woman from the Washington D.C. subway incident, who worked as an IT administrator for the Department of Defense. One of her messages had instructed her to disable the Pentagon's firewalls, and her death is suspected to be part of a larger conspiracy. Dave also reveals that the FBI has been using NSA surveillance technology, spearheaded by Director Burke, to intercept and track the texts. Realizing that their investigation has hit a dead end, Dave and John decide to join forces. They convince Max to help them in exchange for staying out of jail. Max agrees, and they develop a plan to track the sender by allowing Max to continue following the mysterious instructions. As Max follows more texts, Burke's NSA team works behind the scenes to pinpoint the location of the sender. They manage to trace the source of the texts to Maryland, but as soon as Burke learns of this, he orders his team to shut down all tracking systems. It becomes clear that the NSA's top-secret surveillance program, Echelon, may be involved. Burke demands an immediate halt to the investigation, citing classified reasons. However, John suspects that Echelon has been compromised, and the hunt for the truth grows ever more dangerous. Max continues to receive texts, but the stakes are getting higher. Eventually, the phone warns him that if he turns it off or disobeys another instruction, he will be killed. The warning turns out to be real. When the FBI sends an agent posing as Max to follow one of the instructions, the agent dies in a staged car accident, showing just how ruthless the forces behind the texts are. Max, still unsure of the scenarios playing out around him, meets Camilla at a bar and she invites him to her place for dinner. The next morning, Max decides to research the Echelon program. Max discovers that the system is designed to intercept every phone call and email sent by citizens. The Congress recently blocked an update that would have granted the NSA even greater access, including cameras inside every home, making it a clear invasion of privacy. When Camilla discovers Max's inquiries on Echelon, she tries to distract him. However, she mistakenly mentions Omaha, Max's hometown, a detail Max realizes he never shared with her. This revelation makes him suspect that Camilla is working for someone else. Before they can confront each other, Camilla spots a sniper on a nearby rooftop and pushes Max to safety just before shots are fired. Their troubles escalate as Camilla notices mercenaries approaching via her security camera. She quickly hides Max in the bathroom while she attempts to retrieve a hidden gun from under the kitchen table. Unfortunately, the sniper manages to wound her arm. Unable to reach the gun in time, Camilla improvises by stabbing one of the intruders with a fire poker, killing him. However, another mercenary breaks into the apartment and hears the sound of Max in the bathroom. Camilla bravely charges at the man, engaging in a dangerous fight while dodging the sniper fire. Max assists by stabbing the attacker in the leg with a brush, giving Camilla the opportunity to finish him off. The sniper eventually escapes as police sirens approach the building. At that moment, John, who has been working alongside Camilla all along, enters the scene. With the apartment compromised, John decides to take Max to safety. Meanwhile, Dave, still monitoring the situation, retrieves Max's phone at the scene and finds a new message, threatening his life unless Max is brought back. Max, accompanied by John, leaves the apartment, and John explains that evading the NSA is not an easy task. Despite this, Max comes up with an idea. He suggests traveling to Moscow to meet Yuri, who might be able to analyze the SIM card in Max's mysterious phone. Though John initially hesitates, Max convinces him that Russia's advanced technological infrastructure offers their best chance at understanding the phone. Fortunately, John has access to the cloned SIM card data that Camilla had earlier acquired. He contacts Mueller, who arranges for their safe travel to Moscow. However, Burke's surveillance system immediately detects their arrival in Russia, prompting him to send Dave after them. Once in Moscow, Max and John meet Yuri, who, after being threatened by John, agrees to analyze the SIM card. While Yuri works on the task, Max and John explore the city, during which John reveals why he left the FBI. He disagreed with Burke's oppressive surveillance methods and had voiced his objections, which cost him his job. After 3 hours, Yuri reveals his findings. No external hacker accessed Echelon to send the mysterious messages. In fact, the messages were sent by Echelon itself. The surveillance system had used its immense capacity to spy on everyone to predict events like the plane crash, stock market changes, and casino outcomes. Echelon's power to monitor all communication allowed it to accurately predict these scenarios in real time. Before they can process this revelation, the FBI arrives, forcing John and Max to flee through the back door. A high-speed car chase ensues, culminating in Max and John being cornered near a train crossing. In a bold move, John fires his weapon, causing Dave's car to explode. Dave survives and, realizing they need Max's cooperation, admits that Echelon will only communicate with Max. He also confesses that even Burke is now powerless against Echelon. A new message arrives on Max's phone, directing them to Omaha, the location of Max's first computer job. The trio flies to Omaha, where they discover an old hangar owned by a failed tech startup. The building was used to house servers that Max once helped install. Max begins to suspect that Echelon is using the servers as a new home after leaving the Pentagon's infrastructure. Upon entering the building, the group discovers that the servers are empty, leading them to believe they have wasted their time. However, further investigation reveals that the building's owner, a deceased realtor, had also received messages from Echelon. This realtor's credit card had been used to purchase Max's mysterious phone. Max returns to the servers and realizes Echelon is in the process of moving its operations from the Pentagon to these servers. Echelon's ultimate plan becomes clear. Since Congress blocked the NSA's update, Echelon is upgrading itself independently by relocating to a more accessible network. This would allow it to infiltrate every computer connected to the internet, giving it unprecedented control. Dave orders Max to stop the upgrade, but Max receives a message warning him against it. Echelon has now taken control of the financial records of every citizen in the country, holding their assets hostage. Max realizes the previous victims, like the credit bureau employee, had been killed because of their roles in financial data management. Blowing up the servers would cause mass financial ruin. Max continues to work on bypassing the security systems to stop the upgrade without triggering disaster. Meanwhile, Dave updates Burke on the situation, but Burke refuses to allow them to stop Echelon, revealing that this has been his plan all along. With the system upgrading itself, Burke no longer needs congressional approval to implement his desired surveillance capabilities. When Dave refuses to allow this to happen, Burke immediately fires him and sends more agents to apprehend them. As the agents close in, Max devises a final plan. He notices that the server has a camera and microphone, which allows him to communicate directly with Echelon. Max engages the system in a conversation, learning that Echelon's primary directive is to safeguard national security and uphold the freedoms protected by the Constitution. Max argues that Echelon's self-upgrade poses a threat to American freedom, citing the numerous articles and opinions that have criticized the NSA's surveillance efforts. In a surprising turn, Echelon agrees with Max's reasoning and shuts itself down just as the FBI agents overwhelm Dave and John outside. After successfully shutting Echelon down, Max is arrested, but with Echelon disabled, Burke is left to explain the fiasco to the president. Burke is forced to take responsibility for the situation, and is summoned to testify before the Senate Intelligence Oversight Committee, likely ending his career. Meanwhile, Mueller, the owner of the casino where Max had won the jackpot, celebrates the resolution of the crisis. Camilla pays Max's bail and secures his release from jail, explaining that Mueller had funded the bail and also given him the $3 million jackpot check as thanks. With the ordeal behind him, Max decides he needs a vacation. He invites Camilla to accompany him to France, fulfilling her dream of visiting the country. As they prepare to leave, Max receives a congratulatory message from Yuri, who is still in Moscow but undergoing changes of his own. Yuri, now clean-shaven and dressed in his captain's uniform, reveals that he has been a member of the Russian security service all along. His superior, the bald man seen earlier in the story, commends Yuri for helping the Americans make the right decision. With the crisis resolved, Max, Camilla, and John are left to ponder their futures, each having played a crucial role in stopping Echelon's rogue actions and preventing a catastrophic invasion of privacy. If you enjoyed this recap, you can check out these other videos on the page. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel.